Welcome to another edition of Sparky Help, this time mastering circuit breaker types and what not to do. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. How many types of circuit breaker are there? There are 3 main types with 2 additional ones. We're just going to focus on the main ones, which is a type B, C and D. There is also a K and a Z, but they're less common. So there's a type B breaker, which you can identify, as you can see, with the letter B, and then after that it has the current rating, which is relatively straightforward, and this is a particular brand, and a type B. Well, here's the time characteristic for a type B circuit breaker. That one happened to be a 10 amp. Again, across the bottom we have the amps, up the side we have the seconds, but we're going to look at the table to the right hand side. And this tells us the 10 amp requires 50 amps for that protected device to disconnect within 0.1 or 5 seconds. And then we have a type C circuit breaker, as you can see. And here we have a time current characteristic for that particular one. Obviously they all look very similar, but we're going to concentrate on the 10 amp, and you can see that it takes 100 amps for this one to disconnect. So the same rating, but more current to make them blow. And then we have, slightly less common, but obviously depends on where you work, we have a type D circuit breaker. And again, the 10 amp, we're going to concentrate on that one. And this one has 2 different current ratings. One for 0.4 disconnection time, which as you can see requires at least 200 amps. And if you want it to go in 5 seconds, it takes 100 amps, which was the same as the C. What does all that basically mean? Well, it means the earth fault loop impedance for each of those devices must not be greater than these values here when running at their maximum temperature. That's the cable, that is. So there we've got a 10 amp, and it has a maximum ZS of 4.37. 10 amp at type C is 2.19, and a D, depending what the disconnection time is, so 0.4 of a disconnection would be 1.09, and for 5 seconds 2.19, the same as the C. On the right hand side of the screen you can see over here these are the multipliers. So a B is 5 times its current rating, a C is 10 times its current rating, and a D at 0.4 is 20 times its current rating, and 10 at 5 seconds. What does that basically mean? Well, if we look here, we can see that the 10 amp, which is this particular curve in this location, and here we have the time along the side. So here we have 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, 4, 5, and we go across to the 10 amp line, and that's where the 100 amp is in that location. So that takes 100 amps, and that's on the curved part, which means it's the bimetallic strip that's actually going. And to go in 0.4 of a second, then it needs 200 amps, and that's where it goes vertical on the 200 amp mark. So it will just go in 0.4 or quicker. What does that basically mean? How does this actually work? Well, a type B breaker, it all depends on what type of load you have. There are 3 types of load. So it's a resistive load. So if we have a full load current of that location, and this is all happening very quickly, bear in mind, but basically what happens is the current goes up to that point and doesn't really shoot past it at all, and it just runs at the running current. Then we've got a sort of medium inductive load. This could be capacitive as well, but it's mainly inductive is what we tend to have. And this time we have a running current down here, and what will happen now is when you turn the thing on, whatever it happens to be, you will get a surge in current, and that will drop hopefully quite rapidly back down to its running current. So you can see the inrush, as it's called, is much higher at the very beginning. The analogy I would say to use is if you've ever tried to push a car, to get the thing rolling you need to put more energy into it. Once it's up and rolling you don't need as much energy to maintain it. And then the worst case scenario would be a very inductive, highly inductive load, and you have a current at that point there, so that's what it's actually going to run at. But when you turn this on, you get a huge inrush of current, and therefore for these particular types, going back, this would be a type B, but it can withstand some in inductive loads. This would be a C, and then something that's really inductive or a very large inrush, then in extreme cases you would put a D in. So what better way than to show you with a demonstration. Here's an induction motor, and with its running current it's 3.8 amps, but here we have the inrush, and you can see it peaks at 30 amps. It doesn't take long to get there, but it's quite slow in this particular one, and then soon drops down to 3.8, 3.9 amps. Obviously loads will vary depending whatever it happens to be driving. So if it's a conveyor belt, for instance, and you load it, the current will go up, and this will then drop down to zero, obviously, when turned off. Now what happens if we put a Type B circuit breaker in line with this? And we turn it on, and you can see it trips off, goes off. So if we put it on again, in each case it will switch off because it sees it as a fault. Let's try with a Type C, and as you can see now, it's running as it should do. So it can withstand the inrush because it's not going to go just yet, and it quite happily runs at the running current. Obviously in some cases what the manufacturer will do is they won't say put a Type C, and they might say go up a size but keep it a Type B. So here we have a 10 amp Type B, and this will also stay on, but always be guided by what the manufacturers state, because they are the ones you should follow. Well, often what people do is they have nuisance tripping, and I've been told this many times over the years that I've resolved nuisance tripping, and I've put, because they know a little bit, and they go and put a Type C or a Type D in its place. So here we can see all the curves together. The same curve is the same for all of them, but it's the vertical part that differentiates it from a Type B, C or D on the actual time characteristics. So it's how much current it gets and makes them disconnect for that. And we can see therefore then, because it takes a different amount of current to make them go, the maximum earth fault loop impedance for each of those types of breakers is different, and it goes, the higher the rating, or when you go up to C or D, the lower the ZS. Here we have from the on-site guide, the IET on-site guide. This gives definitions of sort of where they could be used, suggestions, and the tripping currents for each of those. You'll notice there is a 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's because they're BS3871s, they're old circuit breakers, probably still in existence, but probably becoming fewer and fewer as the years go on. But you can see a Type B can withstand a tripping current 3 to 5 times its rating, and as you can see there, you've got domestic commercial installations having little or no switching surge. And then we've got C, 5 to 10 times its rating, as you can see, general commercial fluorescent lighting. We keep going on about fluorescent lighting in exams and things like that. But more likely you're going to be stripping them out and replacing with LEDs. That's not to say they don't have a surge, but the current going into them is much, much lower. So if you go into commercial or industrial situations, you're more likely to find Type Cs on lighting circuits. And then in extreme cases, you've got Ds, which is 10 to 20 times. And as you can see, for X-ray machines and welding equipment where you have high inrush currents. Obviously, this is just a guide, but always be guided by the manufacturer's instructions. They know it best. As I said earlier, what people have said over the years, I have nuisance tripping in my property. Every time I turn something on, the circuit breaker goes and they go, I've resolved it, I've put a Type C in, or I've put in extreme cases, I've put a Type D in. The problem is with that is if you don't know, what you've actually changed is the disconnection time may not meet the requirements. As you can see here, you can see a 32 amp circuit breaker. These are all from BS7671. A 32 amp needs 1.37. Remember, this is operating temperature of the cables. So maximum is 1.37, but for the same one for a Type C, it drops to 0.68, and then the same one for a Type D, 0.34. In all cases, those people who changed B's, C's and D's go up a type, they probably do resolve the nuisance tripping, because it probably doesn't trip anymore. But then, as I've said to them, you may as well have stuck a nail in some cases, because it may not disconnect at all. As an example, a Type C there, 0.68. If you have a TNS installation within the UK, your ZE could be up to 0.8 of an ohm. And therefore, as that's already, the ZE is above 0.68, therefore it would not disconnect. It might take 30 minutes, 20 minutes, at which point the next thing to go off might be the smoke detectors. So always be very careful for people who say I've changed the type to resolve nuisance tripping, because it's not the solution you should be looking for. And if you do that, make sure it still meets disconnection times by checking the ZS of the circuit. This is Sparky Help. I hope that's been useful. Thank you very much. Please like, share and subscribe.